Hey guys, how's it going? So I spoke about paradox. And so I thought it would be a great idea, or feel like it would be a great idea, so that those who are interested may want to start looking at paradox. Because sometimes the mind likes to come up with concepts that are absolute. So this is actually something I've been doing for quite a while. So I love writing down paradox, because the more I write these paradox down, what actually happens is the more the mind dispels those absolutes that it wants to come up with, that it's made assumptions about. And really that's what those absolutes are assumptions. So I thought I would go through some today, and then you can start looking at your own paradox. What I mean by that is start observing where the mind is using absolutes. And when you begin to observe where the mind uses absolutes, and you begin to look at paradox, what happens is there's a shift in the mind. There's a shift in consciousness. And what happens there is that we begin to see our own lies. And it's so important that, we look at our lies, because most people think and use the word, I am truthful, or they say, I speak the truth, or I hate lies. And this is probably one of my favorite things, because I remember a long time ago when I used to be that, I hate liars. Now I'm like, everyone lies, especially to themselves. So now I no longer have an issue with people that lie, because I know how often this brain is that I've experienced, especially like when I was a lot younger, before I started doing work in paradox, how much the brain went to absolutes and how much those absolutes are absolutely not true. Excuse me, as I use a phrase that actually kind of stands out when I say absolutes are not absolutely true. Or absolutes are absolutely not true, excuse me. So I thought I would go through some of the paradoxes. I wrote down the ones that I've written in my book, and I have some in my other books, but I wrote some down today for you to begin seeing where the mind tells stories and tells lies. And when we begin to see those absolutes and those lies, then we no longer have an issue with other people and their lies. The reason being is because we see the own contradictions within the program that we're experiencing. So a big one in the New Age community is unconditional love. I need to be unconditionally loving. Well, that's an absolute. So, unconditional love also means loving conditions. See if you can wrap that around your brain. Also means loving conditions. One that I spoke of in my video before on paradox was no resistance means even to resistance. Great paradox, I love that one. Okay, and no resistance, that would be an absolute. So an absolute is freedom to most people in their mind. Freedom is an absolute. Everyone has this right to be free. Okay? Well, the paradox is, and when we understand freedom, freedom is also the freedom to not be free. See if your mind can wrap itself around that one. Okay? Another New Age story that is often told is accepting all. Accept everything. But accepting everything also means accepting what you don't accept. Non-acceptance. okay? So these are really great ways to start seeing the stories the mind tells, seeing the illusions, seeing the things, and you'll start seeing it other people talking on TV, which is funny, and other people doing videos, because you'll hear them say a certain phrase and then you'll be like, okay, is that an absolute? They're putting out an absolute there. What's the paradox to that? What's the paradox? So another one is that I wrote down is no concepts, which is a big idea in the New Age community. If we take a look at many of the teachings of the ancient sages, no concepts, but no concepts is a concept. That'll warp your mind. So here's another one, okay? So most people speak of Advaita or non-duality, okay? So it's another new movement is Advaita or non-duality, okay? So the non-duality is an absolute. So when we look at it, non-duality is based in duality. See if that'll warp your mind. Here's another one for you. Here's a paradox for you. In order to unlearn, one has to learn to unlearn. I love these. I do these so much. I love them. I absolutely love them. I write these down and sometimes I giggle for such a long time over these because it's amazing the stories the mind has come to these assumptions, you know, and before has come to these absolutes, and they're absolutely not true. Okay, next. Did I do that one yet? Here's one. Okay, another huge New Age saying that I see a lot of is non-judgment or being non-judgmental. Okay, well, non-judgmental even means being non-judgmental to one's judgment. These are so fun. Maybe you don't find them as funny, but once you start looking at your mind's stories and your mind's lies and your mind's ridiculousness, it's amazing how much shifts begin to happen. Okay, here's another one. Another New Age and I say New Age because, well, that's kind of where we're at in regards to a lot of this spirituality movement, okay? So another one a lot of people talk about is clearing your mind or no mind. They're trying to achieve this idea of no mind, which is an absolute. So here's one. I love this. No mind is an idea of the mind. It's from the mind. It's an idea from the mind. So no mind is an idea from the very source that you're trying to tell it to have nothing to do with. No mind is an idea from the mind. So let me see if there's any more here. Here's another one. I'll leave you with two more that I wrote down. I have a few more, but I'm just going to do two more because this is already in a nine minute video. Okay, here's another one. No fear. Okay, that's a big push too. No fear. You need to get rid of fear. That's an absolute. No fear is an absolute. But no fear also means not fearing fear. Fearing nothing means not even fearing fear. Okay. just trying to find one more. One last one. Let's do one more. One more. Here's one. Here's another one. This is a great one to leave you with, okay? Especially since for those who like to steep their minds in absolutes. And I'm gonna join you there, because guess what? I've been there. I have been there, and you know what? The mind likes to go to absolutes. So don't think that this is something that someone can master. That's the mind. It wants to go to those absolutes. But you have to keep questioning and keep challenging those ideas that come from the mind, those assumptions, those absolutes. But the more that you do that, the more you laugh at the mind and its silliness, okay? And you don't endure, and you aren't afraid to be afraid. And you aren't afraid to be angry. And you aren't afraid to be sad. And you aren't afraid of these emotions that are labeled as bad. Last one. No lies. People want someone to never lie. Don't you ever lie to me. Never lie. And when you begin to steep yourself in the understanding of paradox, you understand that no lies is a lie. Have a great day, everybody. If you have any more, please write them in the comments below, because I love this. I have a lot in my journal that I do. But I really love these ones for, I have ones that are more simple daily stuff, but I love the ones that really kind of challenge that spiritual narrative and absolutes. So if you have any more, write them in the comment box. I love to hear that stuff. And I like to see you challenging your own mind, your own thoughts. It's a fabulous thing to do when you start to see how ridiculous and how many lies the mind tells you. And you won't be so upset with someone else lying to you anymore, and someone else full of hypocrisy, because you know what? You'll start to see your own hypocrisy. And you won't be upset about it, because you'll see that it's just doused all over the place. It's doused, I know that's an absolute, maybe not all over the place, but it's doused within the brain, within humanity. Have a great day, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.